So, so I'm going to go through what we do here, and this was really interesting to me when I began to do this connecting with audiences. You know, who here has seen, John Edward, the Crossing Over, right, and other shows. I went to, when JT left, John and I, my husband and I, went to a lot of medium shows, because we were all going, oh, please, 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 JT, come through. And sure enough, the first one that we went to, which was John Holland, a local medium opened up for him, and JT was the second one through, and that was really, it threw us into this world. I had no idea what this world was, before that, and it was just amazing to hear these mediums speak to the loved ones of the people in the audience, and at that point I thought, that's not something I could ever do. And then one day, the guides come in, and JT comes in and goes, oh, guess what you're going to do next? Guess what? And I go, oh, no. Oh, no, we're not going to do that. What do you mean? I don't know how to do that. They said, don't worry about it. We got it covered. That's what JT is always saying to me. I got it covered, Mom. Don't worry about it. So the first time I did this, it was crazy because, there's always, you'll always forget, you might forget your name, you might forget your loved one. You might forget where you were born. You might forget that you have a sister, right? That's what we call psychic amnesia. If I come to you, you're going to say, "Oh no, I don't have a sister," and they might be sitting right next to you. My sister. So that happens, and the first time I did this, it was happening to just about everybody. That first spirit through was somebody's father, and very, very clear man, very, very clear, and he brought such clear information through, but nobody was claiming him. And I was going, okay, well, how is this supposed to work? If nobody claims you, then what do we do? And he says, I'm going to light up my person for you. And I'm going, okay, the vodka in the lobby? What do you mean you're going to light up your person? And what they did, I looked around, and sure enough, everybody else kind of got dark, and their person got bright. It was crazy. And I looked and I said to this woman, I said, is your father on the other side? She said, yes. And I said, I started going through the things that he had said, that I had told her just a few minutes ago, told the audience just a few minutes ago. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm going, why did you claim him? Well, I didn't think my father would come through, So, and that's a lot of times too. Again, when we're dealing, I let them choose. They're the ones that choose who comes through tonight. And that they all have a very special reason for giving the messages that they do. And so it's really, I do it this way so that they can give to you what they need to give to you. But it might not be exactly what you're thinking. There was a person who I had in my office, and somebody came in, I think it was her grandmother, and she said, oh no, that woman cannot come in here. And I said, well, she's here and she wants to say something to you. And she said, no, I'm not talking to her. I am not talking to her. And she was, she didn't get to hear the message that her grandmother had for her, which was a very loving message, that the mistakes that she made and all of that, and so that was in my office. Here, I don't, they're going to give you the message whether you want it or not. So of course, but we all want the messages, right? We're all okay with that, right? Yeah, definitely. So everybody take a nice deep breath and release. And if any of you can see, you're probably seeing them line up behind me. And that's what happens. I can feel them. They're getting stronger. Very strong. They're all very excited. I laugh because some of them are telling jokes to each other. And sometimes I have a feeling we'll have some combinations going on here where, it might be that, well, you have a brother Joe and I have a brother Joe, and they're both coming at the same time, and I have some of that too. And we have somebody who's beautiful Pamela who will bring you a microphone, and I would really appreciate if you could talk into the microphone so everybody can hear you with the responses. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to identify who is here. So I'm asking that the pushiest energy back there to come forward. Who wants to talk first? And of course they're going, so the first one come through, please. And the way I receive it, again, I can feel them. They'll start showing me things. They'll start start talking to me and, kind of giving me a frame of who they are. I'll also get how they passed as well. And so the one who stepped forward, I'm having difficulty breathing, but I also got this sharp pain in my head right here. And so I first identify, is this a male or female? And it feels very male. And then I try to I ask them, okay, what is your relationship with whoever is in the audience? And if they aren't very clear, then I ask them to be clear, because he wasn't very clear. I need you to step forward. So I'll ask them to step forward and intensify their energy if I'm not receiving exactly. Yeah, he definitely intensified. And so I'm feeling, stuck here. And let me ask what this was. Because a lot of times when you feel stuff in here, it could be nausea from cancer. It could be. But at first, when I got the pain in my head, I thought of it actually of a gunshot in my head. So I'm going to ask, what happened to you, sir? It was more here. This was a byproduct of it, so it was here. And very, very strong. And I know he'll be a good communicator once we get the connection. I am feeling. I am feeling that this person did pass from a cancer. And it definitely it does not feel like a father. I'm just going to go straight to you, because I know that this is your husband. Because he's going, pick her. Okay, and what was the head thing? I got this pain right here. Was that part of his?
Well, he swelled up really bad the last day.
Okay.
And then because his liver shut down, the liver was toxic.
Wow. Yeah. And that's what I'm feeling. A lot of stuff right here, like my stomach, and but I'm not feeling as nauseated as I do usually with somebody who has cancer, because usually they'll give me that idea, what happened to them when the chemo and stuff. Do you want to bring her the mic? Well, I want everybody else to hear too. And I just, I have this chair here because sometimes I just do need to sit down when I'm conversing with somebody who felt very weak at the end of his life. And so I'm asking him, what's the most important thing that he wants to share with you right now? And he wants to share that it's okay. You asked him a question, and he said it's okay. Do you remember the question that you asked? You don't have to share it, but do you remember it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good. And he says, why would you think any differently?
Because he was my husband.
He says, oh, much more than that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, definitely much more than that. And there's such light around him, which is just beautiful, and I feel, what happens when they first come to me, they give me the sense of how they passed possibly, so that I can connect with their loved one, and then all of a sudden that just goes away, and then they are this bright, bright light, which he is, just a bright, bright light. Okay, and he's talking about his mom. And there are, you already know the medical stuff that's going on. However, there is a medication which is really messing with her head. And he's saying there's nothing that you need to do about this, but just know what's creating this. Okay, and he says it's a medication that either you might be on or the kids might be on. Do you know what he's talking about? There's something, and he says...
Is it something I took in the past?
No. No, this is something, and it could be a future thing, but he says, don't take this. There's something that she is taking that, and I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV, so I'm not sure, Yeah, how, do you know what do you have any idea what the medication is that your mother-in-law takes?
She takes a whole slew of medications.
Okay. Let me see if I can narrow it down. Because it's messing with her head. I mean, I feel, you know, I feel really heavy in my head, and I feel like it really is, it's in conjunction with something else, that there's this other piece to it, and it really is, if, you know, if she doesn't back off of it, because first of all, he says she doesn't need it. So if she doesn't back off of it, then it's going to do some permanent damage. So again, he's not saying you have to do anything about that, but I feel it's something that might be passed down. You know, something that she might be passing down. You know, this his mom, so we're talking about his kids in the future, and they're saying that no, don't. He's saying no, don't have the kids on it, and it does feel like something. Let me see if I can get a little bit more information, because that's really vague. Okay, something with the eyes, something with her eyesight, okay, or with her eyes. So again, I wouldn't, you know, you might say, hey, I mean, obviously you probably wouldn't feel comfortable with saying, you know, hey, that, you know, your son came through and he told me for you to get off of that medication for your eyes. But you can maybe ask some questions about it, just so that you know this is a future thing. This is a future thing for you. I don't feel that the kids are on it right now, but I'm feeling something in the future. Okay?